WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Two administrators and a teacher face charges connected to a sex abuse case involving a Bruce coach.
We'll have more on that in just a moment. First, though, stormy weather could be moving into our area. For the latest on that, we go to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, what's happening?
Well, right now, pretty quiet in our viewing area, but these areas in yellow from Grenada south and west, a tornado watch until 11, and from Calhoun City north and west in the pink, that is a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock. So what is possible later on this evening? A line of storms will sweep on through. We will all see rain. We will not all see severe weather. So it's going to be pretty scattered out there if you do see it, but hail and damaging wind the primary threat. Can't rule out a brief tornado or two somewhere in our region, but that is on the low end of the spectrum. Locally heavy rainfall certainly possible with this line of storms. Let's talk about the storms. Where are they right now? Just to the northwest of Memphis, that is a severe warned storm, and that line of storms goes all the way back to the southwest, and this is moving east with time here. So as we get into the evening hours past 8 o'clock, these storms will slip east of 55. I'll be back with your full forecast and all the details in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Keith. Now to those new developments from Calhoun County. 3 educators there are being charged for failing to report an alleged sex crime.
This stems from the arrest of Bruce teacher and coach LaRae Jordan Jr. He's accused of touching an 8th grade female student inappropriately. Our Quentin Smith has been following this story. He's joining us now in the studio with the very latest on that. Quentin.
Andrea, District Superintendent Mike Moore, Bruce High School Principal Mike Gillespie, and lead teacher Heather Nix are all being charged. Now, the mother of the alleged victim says the incident was first reported to the school in March, but nothing was done until an anonymous tip came in just last week. And today, it was difficult finding anyone to talk about these new charges.
They address all other issues at the school, and to me, this was a very important one, you know. And they just brushed it to the side, and it makes me feel mad.
That's this mother's reaction when she found out 3 school officials are being charged for not reporting an alleged sex crime involving her daughter.
It's still a feeling that I can't explain, just knowing that they knew this all along. They knew it and wouldn't do nothing about it.
Calhoun County School District Superintendent Mike Moore, Bruce High School Principal Mike Gillespie, and Bruce High School lead teacher Heather Nix are all 3 being charged for not reporting the allegations.
She went to Miss Nix because she's a lady. She felt more comfortable talking to the lady about it. Miss Nix supposedly took it to Mr. Gillespie. Mr. Gillespie, we'll check into it. Never did.
Upon our investigation, we realized that there was no reports that were made from the school officials to law enforcement or DHS or District Attorney's Office, which is mandatory. All school officials are obligated to report any kind of crime, child neglect, sex crime towards a student.
Bruce Police Officer Corey Alexander says all 3 educators will have a probable cause hearing to determine if they'll be arrested.
This situation could have got out of hand. So basically, charges have been made because it's time that the school administration needs to take this serious.
It kills me and her every day for her to have to walk down those halls, people whispering, sniggling, saying this and saying that about it. That's not no good feeling.
Now, we tried reaching out to the school board president for a comment on this issue. He still hasn't gotten back with us. The district office tells me the superintendent is out of the office for the week. Now, the date for that probable cause hearing for the 3 school leaders still has not been set. Andre, back to you.
All right, Quentin, thanks so much for that update. The Columbus Police Department hits a record number. CPD is sending 14 new recruits to the police academy. That's the most they've sent at one time. Columbus Mayor Robert Smith and Police Chief Oscar Lewis made the announcement at a press conference this morning. The officer trainees will be going to the Moorhead Police Academy on May the 21st. Smith says this is an exciting day for the city and the department.
We were down to like 44 officers at one time. So to be where we are today, within a 3 or 4 months time span, is great progress. So by hiring the consultant and bringing him in to evaluate and analyze the department and working with the chief and his command staff, along with the mayor and the council, had really paid off.
The mayor also says those career days the CPD has held have made a big impact in recruiting. A third career day will take place next weekend at Market Street Festival. Well, having certified officers, of course, is crucial to the department. Right now, the force stands at about 55.
It is approved for 67. WCBI's Jory Talley joins us live in Columbus with more on what this all means for CPD.
Audrey and Joey, each day, the men and women behind the badge come to the Columbus Police Department shorthanded. Officers are sent to the training academy after a certain amount of time after being hired. The department believes more certified officers on the streets makes everyone safer. Working overtime and being worried about having a backup at scene have become almost daily battles for Columbus officers the past few years. The force has seen low numbers, as few as 44 policemen, but the numbers are climbing.
The mayor, the council, the chief promised to increase our numbers, and that has been done.
Next month, 14 officer trainees will pack their bags for the police academy in the Delta. It comes at a cost of nearly $4,000 per officer. Chief Oscar Lewis believes it's worth every dollar.
I'd like to be in this situation, considering the things that we've faced with trying to get the numbers up and the work that these officers have been putting in on the streets and making things work continuously for us without the number of officers that we were supposed to have.
Once the cadets pass the academy, Lewis says the state usually pays the department back. To make sure the department doesn't lose any newly certified officers, certain guidelines are in place.
They are required to stay here, like I said, a minimum of 3 years before another department gains, that person as a law enforcement officer. And like I said, that is usually prorated. But as far as us having a policy that you can't force anybody to stay in any job. If they want to resign, they're going to go.
Officers will go through field training and other steps when they return to Columbus. This is a job Haley Lucas has dreamed about since she was a little girl.
It feels good to be a part of something that's going to help this department along with help this city, because it has been a struggle, and to know that we're going to provide such great support that's very well needed, it helps me sleep at night.
The 14 officers have a diverse background they'll take to the streets.
I wanted to do this ever since a teenager when I joined the Police Explorers, and ever since then I just had the passion to become it. But before this I was a truck driver and it didn't work out so good, so I was like, let me just chase my dream, and here I am right now.
Chief Lewis tells me that the City Council will consider hiring 5 additional officers in Tuesday night's meeting. If approved, that would bring the total amount of number to 60 that has been hired by CPD. Reporting live in Columbus, I'm Jory Talley, WCBI News. Andrea and Joey, back to the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Jory, for that live report from the Columbus Police Department. It's a chance to meet with some of the top employers in the area, all under one roof.
We have a preview and what you need to know when we come back. You would probably need more than a paragraph to describe our educator of the week. It's Jean McCulloch. She teaches 4th grade writing at Ackerman Elementary School. She likes to think outside the box when teaching her students those concepts of writing. She says her favorite part of the job is seeing the students' progress on and off paper.
I love seeing the children progress, especially in writing. You see them just write, small sentences, and then they come in writing 5-paragraph essays by the time, they leave me. Writing can be so blah sometimes, and it's not fun. So I try to find something that will make them laugh, and they all think I'm crazy anyway.
And if you'd like to nominate a teacher for our Educator of the Week, go to our website, WCBI.com.
Some of the area's biggest employers are looking for a few good employees, and East Mississippi Community College is helping connect them. EMCC is hosting its annual Job Fair Expo at the Mayhew campus tomorrow. The employers there will include Yokohama Tire, Airbus, and PACCAR. Other fields, including healthcare and service jobs, will also be on hand. Some employers will be looking to fill immediate openings, and there will be representatives there to review resumes.
Looking back to the west, we have some high cirrus clouds and even some high cirrocumulus clouds foreshadowing those storms heading our way. The latest on that after the break.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It's been a pretty nice day, and for the next couple of hours, no problems for really the next 3 hours or so, maybe 2.5 or so, longer, closer to the Golden Triangle area, we're dry. But west of 55 initially, and then those storms will pull east and get into our viewing area everywhere later on this evening, with temperatures falling into the 60s by just after midnight. No problems whatsoever right now. That's our live Doppler radar. Big storms, though, back to the north and west of Memphis. This area in pink here, from Calhoun City and Pontotoc to the northwest, that is at severe thunderstorm watch until 11. But the storms just approaching the Mississippi River right now. And these storms will continue moving east as we go throughout the course of the evening. Grenada County, Carroll County, south and west, a tornado watch also until 11. You can see that line of storms goes all the way back into Louisiana and Texas. It's going to cross our area this evening and exit our viewing area sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, it would appear. So our western counties, Grenada, Winona, Calhoun City, between 7 and 10 o'clock, those are the expected cities for that time zone right there. Between 9 and midnight, for most of us here in New Albany down to Macon and Columbus, these storms, including Tupelo too, these storms will be moving east of the state line, it looks like sometime around midnight, and then shifting east of our area again after 2 o'clock in the morning. As I've been talking about, high wind, hail, the main threats here, the tornado threat still on the low end of the spectrum at this point. That's certainly good news. Can't rule it out. And the other thing I have to mention that, you know, we're not all going to see severe weather here, folks. We're just going to see a line of storms move on through. There will be probably some severe thunderstorm warnings issued at some point for our coverage area. And there's that line of storms by midnight pulling to the east after midnight. But we're not all going to see severe weather. We should all get some decent rain with this, at least a nice little downpour. And we'll just see how the severe threat unfolds overnight. 56 degrees our forecast low tonight. And in the wake of the storms tomorrow, things are actually looking very nice. Look at this. We're into the mid-70s, a lot of sunshine, not too shabby here. A pretty nice Thursday for us. Low 70s north, maybe a shot at some low 80s in the far south, but mainly 70s with high pressure moving on in. As we get into your Friday, southerly breezes, we're back into the upper 80s. There is a chance for an afternoon or evening shower or storm here Friday, but the better opportunity will be just to our northwest in Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Friday night and Saturday. Now, we're going to be just as warm Saturday, if not a few degrees warmer, highs around 90. And then we'll have this area of low pressure and cold front move on through Sunday. Heavy rain likely, severe weather is possible as we close out the weekend. There's that severe weather risk area. All modes of severe weather are certainly possible, in addition to several inches of rain as we close out the weekend. So some pretty active weather around here. Temperatures all over the place, mid-70s tomorrow, near 90 Friday and Saturday. There's that severe weather threat on Sunday. Pretty nice, though, again, Monday and Tuesday. Another system, though, by next Wednesday. There's your forecast. More. Actually, let's go to more after the break.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
While some may say midweek games during a baseball season don't matter, don't tell that to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. The annual Governor's Cup matchup on Tuesday evening had a sellout crowd of over 8,000 fans at Trustmark Park in Pearl, and it also had another grinded-out win for the team wearing maroon and white. I'll show you again how the Bulldogs topped the Rebels last night. down in Pearl. Now, it was a pitcher's duel early. Greer Holston striking out Brent Rooker here. This would end the first inning. Then in the second inning, it was Houston's Denver McQuarrie. He threw 112 pitches, gets the strikeout of New Hope's Will Golston there. McQuarrie gave up just 5 hits, 2 earned, and 5 1/3. Ole Miss seemed to be in control early. Here's Greg Kessinger making another ridiculous play at shortstop. He's been doing that all year. McQuarrie would get his first career win on the mound, mainly because of this swing right here from Brent Rooker. A 3-run bomb that put MSU ahead for good, as the Bulldogs got the win, 4-2, as you well know. Afterwards, the home run hero and his head coach talked about the victory and Rooker's talents.
That's a huge deal to us, obviously, as our big in-state rival. You know, we played 4 really good games against them. Every single game was a really close game at the end, so credit them with playing well, competing every game. But we were just able to come out with 4 wins, which is huge for us.
I've talked all my life about the cream always rises to the top, and he's the right guy to have up there at the right moment. He has a phenomenal at-bat, 3-run home run, gets us up 3-0 in this really big rivalry game.
And MSU's resume is really starting to come together as a potential regional host as D1 Baseball released their regional hosting. Field of 64 lists for today as the SEC's becoming well represented. You see Kentucky, Florida getting national seeds. Arkansas, Auburn, and MSU all projected to host that. Starkville Regional, by the way, 3 Mississippi teams in that Starkville Regional. That includes Southern Miss and Jackson State. Right there, as you see, and also McNeese State in there as well. Now, Ole Miss is currently a 3 seed in the D1 baseball projections in the Chapel Hill Regional. LSU is a 2, surprisingly. A&M and Vanderbilt also 2 seeds. Your SEC baseball standings, that game didn't matter too much of the SEC standings, but it still mattered. As you see, MSU's on the top with 13-5 in the conference. You see Ole Miss is tied for 8th, still within striking distance to get towards the top half. And then Missouri, Georgia, Tennessee, Bama, they're all at the bottom. The Bulldogs will have a big series this weekend against Auburn. It'll be a Friday through Sunday series. Those Saturday and Sunday games will be on the SEC Network. We'll have to keep an eye on that Sunday game because that may actually get moved to Saturday due to weather. And then Ole Miss is going to be in Fayetteville taking on Arkansas. It's a Thursday through Saturday series. You'll see the Rebels on Thursday, Friday on the SEC Network. We will recap all of the action this week and weekend here on WCBI Sports. Well, the NFL Draft officially kicks off tomorrow night. A good chance you'll see plenty of Crimson Tide names announced tomorrow night. Still don't know whether or not we'll see an Ole Miss name, but there's a good chance we're going to see a Mississippi State name somewhere later on down the road. That Bulldog name, more than likely, you'll hear will be Justin Senior, the offensive lineman. Fred Ross also projected in the 6th to 7th round area. We're running through all the top 3 draftable prospects for everyone. You see Jonathan Calvin also in there. You see Evan Ingram, potential 1st, 2nd round pick, DJ Jones, and DeMaurier Stringfellow. Right now, Chad Kelly is on the tail end of the projection line, so we'll have to see where he ends up going. And then Alabama's got plenty of 1st round guys. Currently 6 projected to be taken in the 1st round according to the NFL Draft. Also, keep an eye on Dylan Bradley and Javancy Jones, potential draftees, and Euporus Derek Jones. All these guys have the potential to be either picked in the draft or picked up in free agency. That's it for sports. Last look at your forecast is next.
Watching these storms out there moving across the Mississippi River, those will be moving east of I-55 after, let's say, 8 o'clock. And, of course, we'll keep you updated here all evening long.
All right. Might be a busy night for you.
Could be. A lot of this will be done by 1 or 2.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.